we got more confirmation that the Power Rangers reboot is coming soon to Disney Plus, and in that same swoop, I think Hasbro may have canceled the Ninja Kidz web series. Let's talk about it. It has been a week for the Power Rangers fandom. My gosh. My name is Daniel. Welcome to the Legacy of the Nerd. We got some news about the Power Rangers reboot. We got some news about possibly Hasbro canceling the Ninja Kidz web series. And of course, we're going to talk about the AI and all that other stuff. But first, let's talk about the news. So yesterday there was an article on Deadline, and in this article they are talking about the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover movie that they're going to do. It's going to be an animated movie geared towards adults. It's going to be like Invincible is what they're going to say. It's going to be a part of the Energon universe, if I'm understanding correctly, and Robert Kirkman's universe that he wrote in the comic books. But in this article, Deadline mentions a slate of Hasbro TV movies, and all that stuff that is coming soon. And among those is a live action Power Rangers TV series with 20th Century Studios, and that is the Disney Plus reboot. So as you guys know, earlier they had talked about a Disney Plus Hulu reboot. It was going to be under the Hulu banner, but Hulu is going to be seemingly going away and merging into Disney Plus, and the studio specifically responsible for making the Power Rangers reboot is going to be 20th Century Studios, which is kind of fitting because Power Rangers started as Fox Kids and 20th Century Studios is what used to be Fox. So it's kind of like going back home in a weird way, but yeah, but that's where we got our more confirmation about the Disney Plus reboot coming soon from Hasbro. And Hasbro is like basically like coming out with a bunch of stuff like Dungeons and Dragons. There's a live action My Little Pony, which I am curious how that would work. But yeah, there's other things coming soon from Hasbro, and among those is the Power Rangers reboot. As we all know, last Friday, the Ninja Kidz trailer released, and it was met with a lot of different opinions online. But amongst those, many were talking about the AI usage in the trailer. So going back a little bit, we know that Toku J is the guy that designed the suits that the Ninja Kidz are wearing in the trailer, and he's apparently a big opponent towards using AI, and a lot of people wanted to know what his opinion was of his suits being used in a project that was AI. And so he finally released a statement on Wednesday, and we're going to read that statement because in that statement, we learn some things that I think are important, not only about how Toku J feels about the situation, but on the status of the Ninja Kidz trailer. So what he says here is, oh, hi, everybody. I didn't expect to see you all here today. For those that follow me in my work, you likely know that my suit designs were commissioned for the Power Rangers Ninja Kidz series being produced for YouTube because many of you, to my sincere amazement and gratitude, recognize them on set. And partially because, well, I've excitedly not shut up about it since. Now, since this past weekend, there have been a lot of chatter online regarding the trailer that leaked, which is interesting that word saying leaked over the weekend, and its use of generative AI throughout. I've commented briefly on TwitX or whatever it's called these days about it, but let this be I guess he says, my final battle statement on the situation as it currently stands. I discovered the trailer and the contents therein when I woke up to a flurry of mentions, DMs, and social media blaze over my then privated YouTube video. I said over a by then privated YouTube video. So that's another point. It's privated. I had prior concerns when concept art leaked previously that had some suspiciously AI looking imagery. He's talking about the Zordon and the Megazord pictures that had, I guess, leaked online. But seeing the amount of blatant generative AI used in the trailer in a project that I'm quite publicly tied to was deeply disappointing. I've had more abuse over this than probably any other point in my career, from one side outright accusing me of using AI to himself, to the other pro AI side telling me I should quit being an artist and in fact get a real job. Thanks, bro. Guess I'll be an accountant now. So let me be very clear. I condemn the use of generative AI in all aspects of the entertainment industry and the arts because, in my very blunt opinion, it's just not art. It devalues the work of artists who have spent years honing their craft It devalues many already oversaturated, overcompetitive fields. And well, there's just too many damn fingers. Look, I wanted to be a pro wrestler when I was a kid. Oh, heads up on that. That's cool. But I'm 5'10" with the pain threshold of a rabbit and the natural athletic ability of a wardrobe. I'm not entitled to challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship because I want to in the exact same way that people stringing together words in ChatGPT to generate graphic novels are entitled to call themselves comic artists because they want to be. There's an argument to be made about non-generative AI as a tool to assist in various endeavors, sure, but I firmly draw a line when people use it to create. And I draw that line with a pencil, not a prompt. Well, that was pretty smart. I like that line. That's a good line. For those of you that have commented, reached out, or generally offered support, thank you. It's been a hell of a week. Let me tell you, my work computer had finally Appled its final Mac, and on the same day, my fridge broke. Man, that sucks. The very next day, I sat there, unable to work, drinking lukewarm Pepsi Max. Is Pepsi Max still a thing? While seeing posts and videos discussing Power Rangers using AI, most of which using my suit designs and thumbnails as bad as lukewarm Pepsi Max. In seeing those thumbnails all over YouTube really sucked because whether intentional or not, the optics will always be there. Now connecting my work to AI. It might seem like much, but as a professional artist working month to month to make a living, that really stings. That being said, I'm now privy to a lot of behind the scenes issues that have impacted this project. I'm not and never will be in the business of throwing people under the bus or pointing fingers of blame and shame, but I do believe in speaking for people I feel are taking an unfair amount of that blame. So that's interesting because it sounds like he's kind of like saying like stop being rude to the Ninja Kidz. Contrary to what narrative appears to have been on social media, the team of Ninja Kidz TV itself have been nothing but open and forthcoming with me, and I don't hold them responsible for the decisions made that have tarnished the project and my involvement in it. He does not hold them responsible. That's okay. So I thank them sincerely for the opportunity to bring my designs and Parallel Life Studios work to life. They're the ones that actually made the suits to life. I thank them sincerely for the opportunity to bring my designs work to life. No, the Ranger suits weren't able to be completely finished, but I've given the budget and time constraints we had. They did an incredible job. For planning to pre-production to the 2-week long shoot, for what I could tell, there was a genuine desire to create something bigger, and this was ever supposed to be a lot of people and a lot of tireless and very human work in this production. With more care and passion, I think it would be given credit for because of the decisions made in post-production process that the Ninja Kidz aren't directly part of. So the Ninja Kidz aren't directly part of the post-production process. I'm aware a lot of this section of my super mega professional statement probably reads as source trust me bro, but I hope that you all understand that I've always done my best to be as transparent with my followers as I can because I genuinely value that following. I'm just a small town kid from England, has worked hard, tried to do everything the right way, and through that managed to be brought on board twice for official Power Rangers work. Now, for the second time, it looks like that work might not amount to anything because the decision's completely out of my hands. I love nothing more than to have my work officially recognized in a franchise that I truly care about. And I truly appreciate everyone who's gone to bat for me in doing so. But I have to accept at this point, it's just not in the cards. So he's talking as if this is going to be axed. If you're a fan of mine and just appreciate my work, that led me to my point. To this point, I'm genuinely grateful. I'm sorry it's not gone the way I'd hoped. I raise a lukewarm glass of Pepsi Max to you all, Jay. So there's a lot to unpack in this statement. So of course, like Toku J, he's upset about this. So there's a couple of words that he uses here, and I do think it's indicative of what is happening with the Ninja Kidz web series. So one thing that he starts off with, he's saying that the Ninja Kidz trailer was leaked over the weekend. And so, which is interesting because the Ninja Kidz trailer released on Ninja Kidz Fam TV, I think it's a Fam channel. I can't remember what it's called specifically, but it's not the Ninja Kidz TV, not where all the other Power Rangers, all the other Power Ranger videos that they made have landed, which is strange. Although I think on that Ninja Kidz Fam channel is where they also announced where they're even doing this series like in August or July. So that's where the information kind of came from that, they were actually doing it, other than the press release that Playmates had released that they were going to do it. And in that, they had talked about that Playmates had gave them money to do that. So that's interesting. So he's talking about his concept art being used here, and then the the YouTube video being privated. So it looks like it hasn't been outright deleted. It's been privated. And if you're a YouTube creator, you can just go in and change the settings, and you can basically make a video that was previously public to everyone, private to just yourself. Like you can, or someone that you can send it to, like a direct link to. So you can do that as well. So we see here as well that he is talking about the behind the scenes issues that have impacted this project, which is interesting, and he's not pointing fingers to blame. So it's almost seeming like he's not trying to point his fingers at the Ninja Kidz. And contrary to what narrative appears on social media, the team at Ninja Kidz itself have been nothing but open and forthcoming, and he does not hold them responsible for that. And it sounds like he says here also, because of decisions made in post-production process that the Ninja Kidz themselves are not directly part of. So, like, this makes me think that they shot all this stuff and then they handed it over to Playmates, maybe? So maybe Playmates is the one that's in charge of using the special effects, or that was the stuff that was used in the web trailer. So that, breaking that down a little bit, that's what I'm reading. And I could be mistaken, but I mean, this is what Toku J is saying. Toku J is saying they're not directly part of that, right? And then he says more here, right here. I love to have nothing more my work officially recognized in a franchise I care about. He gone about. So I'm sorry. I truly appreciate everyone who's gone to bat for me in doing so, but I have to accept at this point, it just isn't in the cards. So he's talking about, okay, his suits were already used, right? So they were already used for this web series. So if they were already used for the web series and this was a trailer, and then this trailer was leaked, was this trailer not meant to be seen? Is the question. That's what it sounds like to me, what he is saying. It was, this trailer was not meant to be seen. It was leaked. Although it's weird because it was leaked on the Ninja Kidz, one of their channels. And then he goes on to say that the Ninja Kidz were not directly part of post-production. And then it will not be seen. So did Hasbro axe the web series before the trailer was even brought out? And that's the question here. So, and did they axe the series, or did they cancel the series? I'm saying axe, but I'm not saying it correctly. Did they cancel the series without there having been, like, I think people were going to jump to saying, like, the trailer was taken down because of the response to AI. It sounds like the trailer was taken down because Hasbro didn't want people to see it. Playmates wants this to be seen because Playmates wants to sell their toys. But when you have all these things that go up, like a licensee, the final IP holder approves everything. So Hasbro has to approve everything to go out. So what I'm reading here is that Hasbro did not want this trailer to be seen at all, regardless of what was in the trailer. And then we get this week, the same week, an announcement that a more confirmation that the reboot is happening now under 20th Century Studios. That's a lot to unpack. Okay. So I do want to talk about we'll talk about the AI and the responses from the Ninja Kidz directly. So the first response we got was from Ethan Fineshriber. He's the guy that's going to play Tommy, or has been playing Tommy in the Ninja Kidz, and is going to be the new White Ranger. He made a comment on Dan Brosnan's the Fan Club's channel on one of his videos talking about the trailer. And so he talks about here, bro, really appreciate you covering this and giving your initial reaction to it. It is a bigger budget than previous episodes that Ninja Kidz produced before, but yeah, it's not Disney-sized budget, which we talked about in our last video. Like, I don't think they even got the budget of an episode. The world is absolutely moving toward using AI more with everything. I get why some people would be off but a bit by it, but dang guys, isn't it, or shouldn't it be more about strong story and character development, or to some degree as well? To hate on things you haven't even experienced at all is like looking at a plate of chocolate and telling your mom you're going to hate it because it looks brown and brown foods won't taste good. Just give it a try before judging. Thanks again for the honest reaction. And so I think Ethan's like 21 years old, and he's grown up in an era where AI has always been the norm, right? And so I think for someone of his age, it's probably a regular thing for him, and that is what he's responded. I don't know if I would have responded so quickly after the trailer, and especially knowing how the fandom can react to certain things like this. Like I get it, but I also get like defending things, something that you worked on really hard. You got to remember, like I know a lot of people are saying the generative AI in the effects, but there was a film crew, there was actors, there was sound. Like go look at the production videos. Real people were making this project. Like it wasn't all just like what you're seeing, like the Rangers on screen and everything like that, and the people that you're seeing on screen were not added by generative AI. These were people. All those extras, the peoples in the putty suits, people made the costumes, people made the props and everything that go on along with it. There was real people involved in all these things. And I can see his frustration when people see that and they look at the effects and they go, that was made with AI. And that's all they see in it. And that's hard. I think that could be hard as someone that's working on something as well. So there was another response, I think on Fan Club as well. And make sure, guys, when you taking comments from people's videos and you're putting them all over, make sure to comment let the people know where the video or the comment came from and the video came from and the creator that made it, because people might want to go see it for themselves. And also, like, it's comment on their video, it's credit as well. Everyone talks about sources all the time. Cite your source, right? So this here says Ninja Master 1. And the way this one reads, it really reads like this is the Shane, the dad of the Ninja Kidz. Like he looks like he's the one that runs or is the leader of the Ninja Kidz, right? So he says, I believe he's saying this to the fan club. We appreciate your take. This project was made with love and passion. It's a feature-length project with 20% of the budget of a single Power Rangers episode. So I believe they're around like 10 to 20. I thought 10%. Looks like they're 20% of a single episode. And it looks like we're looking like an hour and a half movie that they made. It says here, several VFX artists worked on this, and some of them used AI to supplement their work. Interesting. Hasbro gave us nothing. Hasbro gave them nothing. Okay? That line. Hasbro gave us nothing. And I want to talk about that line because it says two things to me. One, it says Hasbro gave them nothing. Gave them no resources. The resources that they got were from Playmates. Two, it's the tone of the line. Hasbro gave us nothing. It's 4 words. Easy to take the tone from it. He is not happy with Hasbro. That is what I get from that line. Hasbro gave us nothing. He is not happy with Hasbro. He says, we spent way more than what we paid by Playmates because we cared about making something great. So they put their own money into the budget. Creators do that. That happens a lot. Remember that even with a little extra budget, it's still a low budget YouTube fan film. Okay, so this was made, the first Ninja Kidz was a fan film. And although this is officially licensed, it is essentially shot as a fan film. That is what he's saying here. So there's a lot to unpack there. So there's several VFX artists worked on this because I looked at some of this stuff and I see like AI, like looking at like the Lord Zed transformation. And a lot of this, I didn't see this like the first couple times I saw the trailer, but like you can see like that was made by AI. The morphing scene, like, I don't know if that's necessarily AI or like people were using, like trying to make, using the effects, and that's where you got the extra hands, like on the Blue Ranger and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if that's because they were trying to put images on top of each other or AI did that. But he's confirming there was VFX artists used on this as well. And they supplemented their work with AI. I don't think this, like, I'm not getting like, I'm lying about this. Like, I'm not getting this from that, like from this comment. What I'm getting is, again, we worked on something really hard and it's getting away from us. And I'm getting frustration in this comment. That's what I'm getting from it. And this is where I'm getting Hasbro canceling Ninja Kidz, because by Toku J and by Ninja Master 1, which I'm assuming is Shane, the leader of the Ninja Kidz, there is things in there to make me believe that Hasbro did not want this trailer to be seen. And of the week that they're further cementing that the Power Rangers reboot is happening. So there's some things to take away from that. Do they want a web series coming out and then, they have the big series coming out as well? Do they want them interfering with each other with their audiences, comparing this to that? What is the possibilities in that? Another possibility is, and I was kind of thinking about this as well, is we have these kids that are using the names Jason, Kimberly, Zach, Trini, Billy, and Tommy. Now, is that the issue? Because they're going to be using those names in the reboot? And is it like a situation where like DC didn't want to have like a Batman on screen and a Batman on TV, or a Superman on, like, there for a long time DC didn't want to have a film version and a TV version at the same time. So like that's why Superman wasn't on TV for a big bit, because it was in films, right? So like that's that situation, right? Or why are they, is that what's going on? They don't want these things to run into each other. And that's what I'm taking away from all this, is that Hasbro doesn't want the Ninja Kidz stuff out because they want audiences to look at the reboot and be like, that is the version of Power Rangers we want you to see. We don't care if Playmates gave you money. We're the ones that approve this, and we're the ones that saying that's what's going to happen with the brand on any sort of media, whether it be comics, TV, or movies, or whatever it is, right? And we already saw, like, this is a good example as well, like Boom Comics, they ended very quickly. And this has been talked about by Alyssa Flores, that they had to end it very quickly. Their Mighty Morphin Power Rangers run, the original run that's been going on since 2015, maybe even before that, I'm sorry. But they ended it so quickly in Darkest Hour, and then started a new series that didn't use any of the original designs or really any of the characters from Mighty Morphin in an ongoing series. There's telling me like Hasbro doesn't want people. So we have an example of that right there. Like Hasbro doesn't want Boom Studios using the original 6 and using their names. And then now they don't want the Ninja Kidz doing it either. Why? That's what I'm getting from that. And maybe I'm reaching, or maybe not. I don't know. But like, this is when you start to look at everything as a whole. And this is why I took my time to make the video, is to wait for more information to come out and more things were happening. Right. So going, and yeah, like the AI had an incredible response to, I would say, like the fandom online, because I don't know how like kids were going to take this. And let me talk about how I watched the trailer. So the trailer I watched on a Friday night after being at a Comic-Con all morning, all day, coming home, watch it, eating my dinner. I was eating my dinner while watching it, and be like, cool, like this came out. And I was actually surprised it came out, because I heard things. And so that's all I can say. And I heard things. And so I was surprised to see it come out. And then just looking at it with tired eyes, I thought it looked cool. And I said the comment, I said the special effects were no worse than like on a CW show. And then like the next morning when I sat down and started making content around it, I was like, I look at the Lord Zed thing. The Lord Zed thing is what stood out to me. I was like, that looks different. I don't even think I noticed it until after I posted it, until someone pointed it out in the comments. And I was like, oh yeah, that looks like AI. And I'm like, okay. And the thing is, like, I've never really had an opinion on AI. I think the only opinion that I've had is like when it comes to like writing movies. Like, I don't necessarily want to see a movie that is written by AI or like entirely produced by AI, like no human aspect of it as well. But I've never thought about AI in the sense of like adding for like special effects for like explosions and for like, electric, little things and stuff like that. I've never thought about it in that sense. So I didn't know like if I had an opinion on it. And I don't know if I have so much of an opinion on it now. Like, I see a lot of the community calls talk about like, well, this could be a job for a VFX artist. It didn't sound like they had enough money to like hire a lot of VFX artists. And then not only after that, Toku J says the post-production was out of their hands. So did Playmates just take the movie or, take the footage and just add it, like threw it in there real quick? Like, we know that they've used AI in the past. So like, why, that does not like too far-fetched to say. So, and yeah, looking at the trailer and even looking at it now, like I still enjoy it. Like, it looks cool to me. I wish they would have like smoothed out the special effects on it. And I don't know really what my opinion is on special effects, AI being used for special effects. It seems like, I don't know. It just seems odd to me. But I know a lot of people have strong opinions on that. And I'm just being honest. Like, like I said, watching a movie that is completely made by AI, like the people in it are AI, the story written is by AI, and that I don't think I would enjoy. But like seeing like an explosion or some little, squiggly lines on a morph. I don't know how I feel about that, or like a morph in general. I don't know. I'm just being honest. I thinking about it right now. I'm thinking about it right here in front of you. I don't know, but I know. I think the way that it was reacted to was very made like a much bigger deal than what it needed to be, because people saw the one thing and they go, well, it's all trash. But it really wasn't, man. Like, there was some really good fight scenes in that. Like, the suits are really cool. Like the Goldar, suit is really cool and stuff like that. Like there's some real work that was put into this thing, and to just like throw it all away because you didn't like AI was used as a special effects. I don't know if that's fair. I guess I don't know. And again, I'm just talking right here. I'm talking to you, and you can see like I'm kind of thinking about it as I'm talking to you. But yeah, I don't know. And I think how the community responded as well was not well. But I think the way things are, and I see this in all different fandoms, because we cover all fandoms, Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and stuff like that. And I think when something comes out, the vast majority of people, if it's good, if it looks good, generally people react positively to it. But then it's like, the super fandom of whatever fandom that is will just automatically hate on it because it's not what they had before. It's something new. And it's like they can't accept something new. And so, although they still are fans, and I don't want to say anyone less fan is more of a fan than another person, but not accepting new ideas at the same time is kind of like, what? Like, you know what I mean? And it seemed like on Twitter, like 3 people made a decision like this was bad. And it was like a mob mentality around it, like, and just attacking people that had anything to say about it that was semi-favorable, right? We saw channels that were just like, and some of those channels, they may have taken it like, whoa, but like, I don't know, like going in on every single YouTube video and just saying like, this is trash, and just like attacking or like they, going on posts like they like this, so, don't worry, but I didn't like it. And it's just like, nah, man, like, don't tell people what to like. Like, let people like what they want to like, right? Like, that's not cool. The thing is, man, I don't think it's right just going in and telling people what to like and not to like because of a reason that you're telling, right? Like, and that's the thing. And I know, being here on this YouTube channel, we've always presented things like, here's the news of it. This is what I think of it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, right? I've never gone out and been like, you need to like it for this reason. You shouldn't like it for this reason. I've never, that's not a way to like be. I don't know. And yeah, I'm not going into other people's videos and commenting like, oh, you're wrong. Yeah, it was crazy. And seeing some of the news about the AI, because like, I made a post saying how Super Sentai used AI just this week. They used AI just this week in an episode. And it was weird to see like some people be like, that absolutely were like, shaming people for even giving any sort of favor to the Ninja Kidz trailer, and then seeing them on the Gojuger episode and be like, well, I like Gojuger, so it's okay. Like, no, man. Like, I saw one guy who was absolutely like blasting people that, that liked the Ninja Kidz trailer, and then get confronted with the news that, Super Sentai was using AI too. And they were like, no, it's cool. I steal it. So like, I pirate it. So it's not an issue. I'm not giving them money. Like, what? Was it an issue before there was like AI in the episode? Like, I don't know. That's wild, And I know people like see my posts and stuff like that. And I know I set like Twitter ablaze about the Super Sentai, Power Rangers not needing Super Sentai. And like, the reality of it is, they really don't need to use Super Sentai if they don't want to. And it can succeed without Super Sentai. It just won't be what it looked like before. It won't look like the series before. It'll be something different. And that's how it can succeed. And I think that made people so angry because that meant there was going to be change. And people don't like change. That's shown throughout history. People do not like change. I mean, it's just, people don't, I don't know how people react to that all the time, but it's kind of strange to see that as well. And then I know, like, I put like Power, you guys got to understand, like, Super Sentai is super, super popular in Japan. Like, super, super popular in Japan. But Tokusatsu as a whole outside of Godzilla, is probably one of the least popular things that is coming out of Japan. Look at anime. Look at how big that is around the world, right? But at the same time, people don't really talk about Super Sentai on other places of the world. Like, yes, there are pockets here in the United States and around the world as well that enjoy Super Sentai, but it's because it's not distributed worldwide, and that's because of the deal that they made with Saban. And because they don't care so much about the world, or at least until recently, they don't care so much about worldwide eyes on Super Sentai. It's never been a priority for them for it to be popular around the world. But it's because it's not. And that's the thing. And you can go up to any person and ask, do you know what Power Rangers is? And I would say a majority of them would know what Power Rangers is, right? But if you go up to those same people and ask them outside of the fandom, right? And ask them, what is Super Sentai? They're like, what are these words you're putting together? What is Sentai? What does that mean? Right? And I think people are generally getting the idea. And I think this is a big, large into of Godzilla, right? That something like Power Rangers came from Japan and like the whole Japanese Power Rangers joke. But it's true. Like, that's how people see Super Sentai that don't know anything about Super Sentai. Like, they're aware this stuff came from, I think they're starting to become more aware that stuff came from Japan, but it's not like a widely known thing like Godzilla, right? It's not like a big, huge thing. So I think, inside the fandom, you absolutely know. Like, if you've watched more than, I would say, 5 or 6 of the Power Rangers series and you're older than 12 years old, you know what Super Sentai is, right? But for the majority of these people, they don't know. They don't know what it is. And it's because of the deal that they made. Now, we see them, with Kamen Rider, they're trying to bring it to the United States and release it officially and stuff like that. I don't know how that's going, but that has a bigger, I think Kamen Rider has a bigger like audience around the world than Super Sentai ever will. And that's just the reality of it. But yes, that's why I said Super Sentai needs Power Rangers to stay relevant, because they can't show it around the world. How do they get new fans outside of Japan? And that's through Power Rangers, because Power Rangers, I could say about 99% of the people that are watching Super Sentai from the United States started watching Power Rangers first. And then I know there's a couple of you like, oh, I came from Japan, or I came from outside the country and stuff like that, and or whatever, and they watch Super Sentai first. And yes, that absolutely happens, right? But the people that are discovering Power Rangers first, then go to Super Sentai. That's how it works. And I think there's a misconception I don't like Super Sentai. I actually like Super Sentai. I think it's cool. I was covering Gojuja for a while, and the reality is those videos were just like really, really hard to make. The videos were actually doing okay. I was getting thousands of views on them. Doing pretty well for someone that never did it before. It's just the production of making those videos for YouTube, the time, it was just hard with everything else that I was doing, right? So guys, I run multiple platforms, right? So I think that's where it's coming from, that I don't like Super Sentai, but I actually like it. I bought quite a bit of the Gojuja toys. I guess I'm supporting AI because, I bought Gojuja and they're AI. Oh my God, that's a bad joke, but I'm probably going to get flambasted for that or whatever. But yeah, so, that I do. I think my favorite one is Kaku Ranger. I really enjoy that one because I like the ninjas, the Ninjetti season 3 of Power Rangers, and I liked it in Super Sentai as well. So no, I don't hate Super Sentai, but will I bring up the news when it's relevant? Yes, I will. Yes, I will. And that's why I brought up the AI being used in Gojuja. I haven't even made it yet, but apparently AI was used in Kamen Rider 2 in the trailer. And apparently AI was just used this last weekend in an Ultraman presentation at New York Comic Con. So AI is being used all over in your tokusatsu shows. It's being used on Ninja Kidz, apparently. It's being used on Gojuja and Super Sentai. It's being used on Kamen Rider, and it's being used on Ultraman. So yeah, it's happening. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm sure you will let me know in the comments. And look, I can handle people dissing me or talking crap about me, and I'm fine. Like, I am out there in the public. I'm putting myself out there. I know I'm going to be criticized and stuff like that. But like, if you could just be better to other people, I think that'd be good. You can criticize me. That's fine. You can criticize me for things that I say on my channels and on my platforms. That is fine. That is fair game. And I completely am fine with that. I don't necessarily like the way some of the language is, but it is what it is, right? But like, at least towards like your fellow man, your fellow person, your fellow lady, your fellow woman, whatever. Be nice, man. Be good. Don't need to attack everybody all the time. Don't need to be that guy. Don't need to be that fandom. Don't have to stoop to that. That's not cool, right? Okay? That's my thoughts on the Ninja Kidz, on AI and everything that's going on. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'll see y'all next time.